Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing.
Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 595 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. I'm Heidi, and I'm really happy you're here, whether you're new or whether you've been around a while. It's awesome to be with you. This episode and this show is all about living with intention and finding that balance and making choices that lead to a life that you love, because you control most of everything about your life. And this episode is about something that I think that we can all relate to, because I think we've all experienced it. It's those moments when someone asks you for your honest opinion and you're like, oh no, how do I handle this without hurting their feelings? I ran into this head first this week. Well, almost. Funny thing is, this was already my topic for this episode. I knew it. And that same, the exact thing I was dealing with popped up as an example during this week, and I'm going to share it with you in just a minute. But I had already decided, based on this quote that I read from Thomas Sowell, and I'm going to share that with you in a minute too. But I read it and it just kind of blew my mind, because I was like, oh my goodness, that's so true. But here's what happened. I'm at the gym for one of my favorite weightlifting classes, you know, the kind that leaves you feeling like you can conquer the world, feeling like $1,000,000, because it's hard but fun at the same time, and the instructor's always so good. But this time, there's a last minute switch up. Our instructor didn't make it back from out of town, and so we have a substitute. And it was last minute. So to be fair, very last minute. Now, this substitute's brand new. She's just starting out. And she even said it. She's been thrown into this class with like zero prep time, she tells us. I mean, I was actually so grateful for her for stepping up, because the other option was you get to class, you're looking forward to a good workout, and there's a note on the door that says it's canceled, and you've been geared up for that class all day. So I'm already happy that she's here, even though she's new and she's a substitute, because sometimes we don't like that. We don't like change when we love our instructor, but I'm cheering for her in my head already. So the class, however, was kind of a mess. It was not the smoothest class I've ever been to. I did not expect it to be, because she's new, but I also didn't expect it to be bad. So she was kind of all over the place giving instructions while we were already supposed to be doing the moves and switching sets before we could even catch up. And it was a little chaotic. Totally fixable stuff though. She's new, she's learning, and I have no doubt she's going to be amazing, because she's got a great personality. She looks great up there, and once she gets her confidence, she's going to be just fine. She's going to be a great instructor. You have to start somewhere, and experience is the best teacher. We don't all come out of the gate absolutely phenomenal. We just don't. I can remember my first podcast episodes, and I look back and I'm like, oh, bless my heart. So yeah, experience is the best teacher. The interesting thing about this class was, after the class, you know, where everybody was kind of like having to do their own thing because it was sort of wonky. After class, she started walking around super eager, asking everyone how she did. Like, what did you think of the class? Did I do good? How did it go? How did you feel? And I could feel the awkwardness in the room, because it wasn't great. But when she was asking like some of the regulars, there's a bunch of regulars in that class, and one of the regulars, when she asked her face just kind of turned red, and she mumbled, it was fine, before scurrying off. And another person was like, oh, it was great, but you could tell that they were just being polite. So I ninja'd my way out so I wouldn't have to answer. And I was like grabbing my water bottle, pretending that I was super focused on talking to my friend as I'm leaving. And because honestly, I didn't want to lie, but I also didn't want to crush her spirit. And later that night, I was talking to Eric, my husband, about this. If you've listened to the show before, you know that Eric is my go-to for practical wisdom. He's very wise, but he's got this amazing ability that I know he has, because I've seen him in action, to be direct with people in a way that's kind, but also constructive, even when the truth isn't sunshine and rainbows. So I asked him, I was like, Eric, how would you have handled it if she asked you how she did? Like, you don't want to lie, but you also don't want to make her feel bad. And he was like, Heidi, I deal with this all the time at work. When someone asks for feedback, I always start with 2 or 3 things they did really well. There's always something you can find to praise, even if it's small, like her enthusiasm or how she showed up under pressure. That's huge. And then after I praise her, I would gently point out 2 or 3 things that she could tweak to make it even better, like clearer instructions or pacing the class differently. That way she felt supported, not attacked. Now, isn't that wise? That feels so good to me. I love that approach because it takes the sting out of the feedback. It's like saying, hey, you're already doing great things, and here's how you can shine even brighter. I love that. It makes me feel good just even thinking about it. And that conversation with Eric got me thinking about how often we dodge giving honest feedback because we're afraid of the blowback, especially people like me. I don't like conflict, and I never want to hurt anybody's feelings. So how many times has someone asked for your opinion and you just told them what they wanted to hear? Maybe it was a coworker who asked, what'd you think of my presentation? And you say it was awesome, even though you zoned out about a quarter of the way through it because it was a little boring. Or a friend who shows you their new outfit and you're like, yeah, I love it. Looks gonna look great. When deep down, you really don't think it's going to. I mean, we do this because it feels easier, right? We don't want to hurt feelings or deal with an awkward moment. But here's the thing. When we avoid the truth, we're not helping anyone. So that quote I mentioned earlier that kind of blew my mind by Thomas Sowell, it hit me so hard when I read it. And here's what it said. When you want to help someone, you tell them the truth. When you want to help yourself, you tell them what they want to hear. That just blew my mind because I thought that is so true. So I'm going to say it again. When you want to help someone, you tell them the truth. When you want to help yourself, you tell them what they want to hear. So true. And when we sugarcoat things or dodge the question, we're often just kind of protecting ourselves from discomfort. But when we give honest, thoughtful feedback, like Eric's approach of balancing praise with suggestions, we're actually helping someone grow. See, that substitute instructor, she was asking for feedback because she wanted to get better. By mumbling fine or dodging the question like I did, we are not giving her the tools to improve. Now, I'm not saying we need to go around critiquing everyone all the time. There's a time and place for feedback, and it's got to come from a place of kindness. But when someone asks for your honest opinion, they're opening that door. They're saying, I trust you to help me grow. That's a gift. And we can honor that by being truthful in a way that lifts them up. So here's what I'm taking away from this, and maybe you can too. The next time someone asks for your feedback, try Eric's method. Find a couple of things they're doing well, because there's always something you can find, and then offer 1 or 2 specific ways they could improve. Maybe it's, I loved how confident you were in that meeting, and next time maybe try pausing between points to let it sink in. Or maybe, I loved your energy in that class. It was just so contagious. And I think maybe clearer cues next time would make it even easier to follow you. That's so uplifting, but at the same time will make them think, yeah, okay, that's a great point. I'll do that. I'll work on that. So it's not about being perfect. It's about being real. And when you approach feedback with love and intention, you're not just helping someone else, you're building trust and fostering growth and living in alignment with your values. I mean, that's what a wildly successful lifestyle is, right? So here's your challenge for the week. The next time someone asks for your opinion, don't dodge it. Take a deep breath and channel your inner Eric and give them feedback that's honest and helpful. Maybe it's a coworker, a friend, or even a family member. Notice how it feels to show up authentically in that moment. It empowers them, but it also empowers you. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who may want to take their authenticity to the next level. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days.
Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.